Hello and welcome to Children's Time. It's good to be with you again this week. This week we're going to hear about a boy who shared what he had with Jesus and helped Jesus to perform a miracle and to feed thousands of hungry people. The story we're going to read comes to us from the Gospel of John. Remember that the Gospels are the first four books of the New Testament in our Bibles: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This story will come to us from the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verses 1 through 15. And we're going to be reading it from Growing in God's Love, a Story Bible. A Boy and His Lunch. Word had spread all across the lands of Jesus and his loving hands. He cured the sick, he healed the blind, to friends and strangers he was kind. The people gathered one by one to see the things Jesus had done. To every place that he would go, the people followed high and low. He crossed the Sea of Galilee, went up a mountain through the trees. Then Jesus came to sit and rest among the friends that he knew best. But even all the way up here, the crowd had followed oh so near, to listen to the words he'd say, to watch him heal, to hear him pray. When he saw the large gathered crowd, Jesus asked this question aloud. They've walked for miles on their feet. Where can we buy them bread to eat? He said this with a little smile, for Jesus planned it all the while, just exactly what he would do, but wondered if his friends knew, too. Now Philip, who was close at hand, did not know what Jesus planned, for this was not a crowd of tens, it was 5,000 citizens. To earn the money we would need, to buy the bread enough to feed, all these people gathered here would take us more than half a year. Andrew spoke up then and said, Here is a boy who has some bread. 5 loaves, 2 fish, it's all good stuff, but surely this is not enough. Jesus took the loaves and then said, God, we thank you for all this bread. He passed the loaves, he passed the fish. He told the crowd, Take all you wish. They all sat down on the ground. Is there enough to go around? 5,000 people sitting there. Somehow they had enough to share. Once everyone was satisfied, Jesus walked through the crowd and cried, So that not one crumb may be lost, gather up what you have tossed. The scraps from 5 small barley loaves now made 12 baskets overflow. What wasn't enough for them before had somehow turned into so much more. When people saw what he had done, they shouted, Surely he's the one. Jesus is the prophet, he who has come to make all things anew. Jesus didn't want attention. He realized their intention, to force him to become their king who would rule all and everything. Instead of sitting on a throne, Jesus chose to be all alone. He did not boast, he did not speak. Alone he climbed the mountain's peak. When we hear this story, we hear about a boy who just happened to wander into the place where Jesus was teaching and talking to these thousands of people. And he had his lunch, or maybe he was taking this meal of loaves and fishes, so loaves of bread and fish, home to his parents to share with them for lunch. But Jesus asks him to share it with him. Jesus tells this boy that in sharing his lunch, he is going to be able to help to feed all these thousands of people who had gathered to hear Jesus and who were very hungry. And the boy agrees to do that. He gives over everything he has, all of his food, so that Jesus can use it to feed others. We learn from this story that even a young boy, a child, a kid, can help Jesus to carry out Jesus' mission to the world. Jesus' mission to the world is to feed the hungry, to give people who are thirsty good, clean water to drink, to help people who are in need. And Jesus asks us to help him in that mission. And we can help him in all sorts of ways. And we've talked about a lot of those ways already. But what's important to know is that you and me, no matter how small we are or big we are, young or old we are, we all are able to help Jesus in his mission. We all are able to go out and work to feed people who are hungry, to help those who are in need. And we're able to do that because Jesus chooses us. Jesus chooses each one of us because we're special to Jesus. We each have special gifts and special talents. We each are made in the image of God. We each are loved very deeply by God. Because we are so loved by God, and that God gives us wonderful gifts in our lives, we should want to say thank you and share those gifts with others. And we're able to do that with the help of Jesus. Will you be with me in prayer? Dear God, thank you that you choose us to help you in your mission. Thank you that you love us so much. Thank you for all the good gifts you give us. Help us to share those gifts with others. Help us to show others your love. Amen. It was good to be with you this week on Children's Time. I'll see you again next week.